Alrighty, welcome back. We have another Nexus Gaming Series matchup on our hands here. I am Bahamut, your caster. We have on the left side Alaska, and on the right we are going to have Insomniacs. I'm ready for this. We're going to be going to Infernal Shrines here on our first matchup. It looks like we're going to have a Dahaka ban right out the gate. Not a bad idea, honestly. Dahaka offers so much to this map. There's a lot of very good offlane pushing you can get from him, and then that can go into quite a good just overall, like, it's something that a team's gonna have to respond to consistently, and so it looks like they're just gonna take that right off the table, as well as just the gank attempts that you can get from him are really strong, as well as just the overall, you know, push power you get from him. Okay, just making sure I'm not missing anything too big here. And it looks like Garrosh is going to be banned out on the side of Insomniacs, and a first pick onto that ETC right away. They want that. They get it. And he's got a lot of good control. There's a lot of good area. There's a lot of good team fighting area for the ETC, for the cow on this map. And just the peel that he gets, the overall value. I mean, you can go into a stage dive and technically treat him as that global. So you never know. I highly doubt it. Typically from this team we've seen a mosh pit, so we're actually going to see a Vala being picked up here on the side of Insomniacs. Now, do they pair that with the Ariel, or do they just go into a tank? Actually, they could go for the Tassadar here. That is still available. Tassadar is pretty strong on these shrines for the clear, as well as just the overall wave clear and the kind of the buff that he gives to Vala. So I actually would hope that Insomniacs would go down that right, but they're going to go down. They're going to go for the Uther. Divine Shield's not bad at all. The overall heal that you get from him is very good. The shielding, that is really powerful. So overall, I mean, Uther, not a bad healer. Just, I was thinking maybe that combination with the Vala. They don't have to run double support, though. Before we go into this ban phase, we are going to be looking at a couple more pickups on the side of Alaska here. Paired into the ETC, Rhaegar or Stukov work really well in this combination. Stukov has very good zoning.
Here we go again.
Okay, there's the Stukov, but they go into the Chromie. I have to say, those two picks very spooky. Though, what are we going to be seeing here on the side of Insomniacs band-wise? Looking at Alaska's draft, they're not showing a crazy amount. They have shown that they're going to have this backline artillery. A Greymane ban wouldn't be too bad here. He works in the solo lane, he works in the team fight, he works on the shrines very well. They could go into it themselves on the side of Insomniacs, though, because they do have the first pick after this ban phase. So, not a bad choice, but they're going to... Okay, so the Malthael, very good for the solo lane, as well as the team fight inside the shrine. And I was like, for a split second, I was like, are they going Cho'Gall? And I was like, I don't think Insomniacs is going to go Cho'Gall here. But looking at Insomniacs drafts, they're going to need a tank. And at this point, I wouldn't be too surprised to see maybe a Tyrael ban. He's got very good zoning. Ooh, they're actually going to go for the solo lane. I was thinking either Tyrael or the Arthas. Both of them are extremely powerful on this map. Tyrael having very good zoning control, as well as just team fight control, and just the shielding that he can give to his teammates, his passive for the death. And then Arthas on top of that, just overall with sustain, the lockdown you get from him, just... And he's a very good shrine clears, but it looks like they're going to be hovering over the Sony on the side of Alaska. Not bad. They do need a solo laner. I wonder if it's something they consider that might hinder their solo laner. We often have seen a Zagara from them. Wonder if they'll actually be picking that up here in these last two slots after the ban phase. Either way, though, it looks like we are going to be seeing this Sonya. Not a bad idea. She works on the shrines, as well as, I noted, in the solo lane. And up against Zagara, I mean, she does have a lot of sustain in the lane with, you know, just getting Fury. So, you know, it's a pretty good matchup. Zagara, I think, doesn't struggle per se, but I think it is a little bit hard for Zagara to kind of go up against that potentially. It's really user preference. Me, I would probably struggle in that situation, but I'm not the best player in the world. Either way, these next two pickups here, I wouldn't be too surprised to see exactly that, what we had talked about in the ban phase, something maybe in the tank solo lane position. I don't think they're going to leave their tank for their last slot. would assume they're going to flex on the solo laner. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see something like an Alarak or a Greymane. That'd be great for the Shrine, as well as... Ooh, actually, they're going to go into a Mage and Diablo, something I did not consider. He does work very well on this map. But I don't know if he works with the composition, because he's going to dive very far forward from his team. Now, granted, if he, in the late game, he can kind of go out and bring someone back for the team to fight, to literally shadow charge out, get the overpower, then shadow charge back towards the team. So at this point, though, we are going to need to see some sort of solo lane and maybe something for the front line potentially. I wonder if they're going to go for the 4-man rotation. They could go for the global. They could go into like a Falstead. But then again, maybe because I've seen the Zagara out of Alaska quite a bit. It would work on this map. Falstead we've seen as well. Medivh is still an option too. That would get into that backline up against that Kael'thas. What are they going to be doing here? They go for the Lunara and Zagara. Okay. So they go for a little bit more range. And I like this. There's a lot of good just lane control, fight control, just backline damage. Overall, I think it's a well-rounded draft on the side of Alaska, but at the same time, what do they pick up to go against that Zagara in the solo lane? Because the 4-man is obviously going to be that Vala, Uther, Kael'thas, Diablo. That is definitely a solid 4-man rotation. You definitely have a lot of damage there and a lot of aggression, too. Might be something Alaska could potentially struggle against. Just depends if they can get some of those combinations off between the Uther, Kael'thas, and having that Vala get out all that damage in the backline. Meanwhile, making sure that Diablo will kind of control the fight. I personally think Greymane's a great choice here. Alarak's a great choice here. If you want something more beefy, the Arthas is still a good choice. Or you just go Lost Vikings. Just make my day, go Lost Vikings. It's going to be the Greyman. It makes sense. It works in the solo lane. It works on the Shrine. He's got good poke. He's got good engage and disengage. He works with the Diablo in hand. I think that is a very strong pickup for Insomniacs. And to be honest, I think this is a very strong draft between both teams. I really think that this could go either way in the team fight. It's just, it comes down to, as always, the execution. But either way, as we get into this match, we are going to see this happening. And so on the left-hand side, we are going to have Alaska with Hedgie on Lunara, Sierras on Zagara, Rexpa on the Chromie, Bubble This will be on that ATC, and Varen will be on the Stukov. On the right-hand side, we are going to have Insomniacs with Crazy Ivan on the Vala, Dunkstick on the Greymane, Czar Salesman on Diablo, Kaiser on Uther, and Crab People on Kael'thas. Alright, we are going to load in here. So let's go ahead and take a peek at some of these level 1 towns.
Prepare yourselves for battle, heroes.
So far, it does not look like anything too crazy out of the ordinary. And definitely, I really like the start of this. Good luck, have funs are out, and it looks like we are going to have that Zagara going in that top lane. I'm going to assume the Greymane will be in that top lane after they have this 4-man, well, excuse me, 5-man in the mid. Vala holding that first talent. I wouldn't be too surprised to see her going into the Hungering Arrow build. That high burst damage in the late game will be very strong, but it looks like we're going to be probably having a multi-shot build. Either way, let's get into this. Currently, Greymane just going up into that top lane. Zagara has not really... Zagara will get a little bit of an advantage because you can spread that creep and there's nothing to really go up against it at the start. Excuse me. Currently have rotating into the bottom lane. We do have Hedgie going up against Crazy Ivan. And it looks like they might be going away from the kind of the four-man rotations we often see. A little bit of a scrap going here in mid. Not too much. Looks like people are just going to play safe. And at this point, we're just going to see for the next probably minute or so. I don't expect a gank anywhere really happening. Most of these teams just, Zagara spreading as much creep as possible. Trying to just zone and control these lanes a little bit, as well as just get the experience. Currently at Bubble This just postured up. They are just slowing down this rotation. Zar Salesman going to get power slid on here. Bubble This going to get a little bit of body block. Rexford throwing a little bit of that damage out from that backline. Crazy Ivan going to go ahead and come in here, and looks like they're going to disengage, and they're just going to make these rotations back up into the mid lane. Zar Salesman definitely being the target of Rexba here, chunking him down quite a bit. We do have the Immortal popping, the Punishers. There we go. I always do. These two maps, I think it's like the tiles just get me every single time. I just look at the tile, I'm like, oh, we're on Infernal Shrines. Or excuse me, we're on Battlefield of Eternity. Just always swap between the two. Either way, Punisher will be starting here in the next 15 seconds or so. And we just have the teams just going to be they're going to be rotating and just trying to get to 4s as quickly as possible, so you get that little extra bump in damage and ability, as well as some of the questing talents. I do believe there should be at level 4. Yes, I think Stukov picks up a level 4 questing talent if I'm not mistaken. But overall, just it looks like we currently have Diablo rotating up from that bottom lane. It's going to be a little bit late from him. We have Hedgie soaking up this mid lane as they're rotating into that top. Now, they have dedicated the majority of the rest of their team here, actually all the rest of the team here, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and Sierras will go ahead start out this shrine. We're going to have actually Hedgie staying in the bottom and mid, rotating between these two lanes, picking up the experience as needed so that they don't miss out on this. And at the same time, we're going to have, this is interesting. Are they forgoing it? No, it looks like, okay, so they're going to pick up the camp and they're going to rotate up. So they're not crazy late. I mean, it's about halfway through. We do currently have Zar Salesman diving in here. Varen going to be taking quite a bit of damage. The poison is out. You have Rexba throwing quite a bit out on a few of these members who are stacking up here. Zar Salesman just being the focus of every single one of these shots here. Kaiser taking a little bit of damage. There's Bubble This going to get powered. Excuse me, he's going to power slide out, but he is falling a little bit low here. The push does go out, and that will be, at this point, Insomniacs are going to kind of hold this over, but they're going to have to back up at this point. We actually have Dunk Stick going to fall a little bit low to Hedgie. Is there the healing from Kaiser? Will he be able to get out in time? There it is, and he will be fine. And this will be the first Punisher going over to the side of Alaska. And thank you for Real Rad Dad. I love this shirt. But we definitely have Varen and the rest of the team currently rotating, just pushing into this lane. Now at the same time, we still have Hedgie in that mid, and it looks like we do have Vala in the bottom lane just going ahead and soaking up that experience as well. But it looks like there's about a level difference at this point. The Punisher being baited over the gate, they're pretty much just going to get this over, and I really don't think they're going to get too much value. Actually, there's going to be a slide out. They're getting very aggressive on the side of Alaska. Dunkstick is going to take quite a bit of damage. Won't be dying here. Zar Salesman going to be taking quite a bit himself. And they're trying to, they get the root on him. Bubble This is starting to fall a little bit low himself. Will have the power slide out. Will be a little bit of artillery to try and get a kill as they're trying to make this escape. But it looks like everyone will back off. And I don't believe anyone really died during that entire time. We had Hedgie rotating between mid and bottom, getting that experience, as well as Crazy Ivan just kind of making sure that they don't lose out on too much of this. This is, I mean, this game's been played very, very well. There's a lot of control that's been happening on the side of Alaska. They're just making sure that they're not losing out on experience. They're keeping the latents pushed up consistently. This is, it's a very good start for that team. Now, at the same time, we currently have Insomniacs. They're still closing that level gap. I mean, it was about a level. They're keeping it not too far from that. They do approach 7s themselves, and they should be, on track to be same level for the next Punisher. I don't believe we'll be seeing 10s before that. But at this point, we do have a little bit of engage currently happening in this mid lane. Zar Salesman going to be taking quite a bit of damage. He's trying to juke, but it looks like they will get the kill onto him. He does not have souls, so he won't be coming back for the next 15 seconds. Now, granted, the Punisher or then the Shrine shouldn't be up for a little bit here, and it looks like Alaska's just going to maintain control of their lanes, push these up. They're not really going too aggressive here. It looks like they're just going to be kind of just forcing Insomniacs back here and just making sure that they keep the experience in their favor. And it's a very, very just smart play on their side just to work around this objective, make sure that they soak the experience and they don't go out too far. This is a pretty good lane for them, to be honest, as well. If they can, you know, they have the 3-man currently down here, and it's only Crazy Ivan for the defense. If they can open this up a little bit before the Punisher actually gets here, this will be really, really strong for Alaska. And then the same thing, I mean, on the side of Insomniacs, if they can dedicate the rest of their team down to this bottom lane, and they maybe get some counter push, they definitely will get some advantage here if they get into that Punisher, into that Shrine. But at the same time, 9.5 for Alaska. Looks like we are going to be having Insomniacs. They're just going to be playing extremely safe here. They're going to go ahead and just get this top camp, let it push up. We do currently still have Sierras in that top lane, making sure that Soak is there. Rexpa was in mid, just working down this lane as well, and they're making sure that they're splitting their assets correctly on the side of Alaska here. There is currently a Kael'thas rotating in, and he's just going to back off right away from that time trap. They don't have anything else down here. There was no... Ooh, do they scout this out in time is the question. Bubble Disc will go over into the bush. They will see the damage coming out. Varen is going to go ahead, rotate over with Rexpa. He's going to be taking quite a bit of damage. Bubble Disc is taking quite a bit of damage. Now there is the capture heading over for Alaska. Our Salesman and Kaiser on the point here. There's a mosh onto a few of the members. They actually aren't. There is no follow-up damage. The Flailing Swipe actually pushes our Salesman back into the corner. Lenses out. We have Kaiser taking quite a bit of damage here. Will he be falling? We do have the Diablo dying here. It looks like Kaiser will be able to get out without dying, but they lose the Diablo. He didn't have souls, and this is an Arcane Punisher currently going to be walking down the bottom lane. Now, they didn't open this up during that time. They went ahead and they got a kill, so that will be a little bit of a difficult defense for Insomniacs, especially because of the fact that makes it easier for Sears to go ahead. He goes, all right, well, it's a 4v4 on that bottom lane no matter what. I'm just going to go ahead and keep laning in top. He's got the Nidus network already spread between top and mid, so he's just doing the exact same thing that Hedgie was during that last Punisher. And at this point, it looks like Insomniacs, without their Diablo, they're going to go ahead and just give this over. And they're going to have to defend against this Punisher as it's, you know, walking up to the keep. Now, they might be able to save their gate. It really just depends if they get, you know, the good bait over. They can burn it down and then just make sure that Alaska gets kind of pushed back here before we get... Ooh, the jump doesn't go over the gate and actually stays behind, so they're able to kind of get a lot of value from this on the side of Alaska. Now, this was the Phoenix out from the Kael'thas, so that it will be give some good zoning for them. They don't need to worry too much here, but this is still, they have to poke it down. They do get the jump over Crazy Ivan. Going to go ahead and pull it over to the side of the keep here. Going to take a little bit of damage here, but Alaska, they're just going to go ahead, open up the gate, and just back off. Do have Dunkstick going ahead, getting the Galenas Cocktail out. Going to try and get the engage with that slow. Time Trap does go out. Combo does go out. He actually gets the... He goes right back. And it looks like they will stop at that point. Now, in the meantime, we have had Sierras going ahead and just opening up the... He's been pushing that top and mid. It looks like he'll go ahead and pick up this camp as well. So that's going to be going into the mid lane. Meanwhile, we do have this little bit of chase here. Our Salesman trying to position himself for maybe like a pick so he can go ahead and get a Shadow Charge into his team. Looks like it won't be happening here. And this time, Alaska, they're quite close to 13s. If they can go ahead and maybe get a pick here and a minion wave, not too much, they can definitely look to really start to be a little bit more aggressive, and Star Salesman might be that person here. He does get the overpower, and it actually Bubble This will be able to disengage, and both of them walk away, and it looks like, but this, I mean, it's going to be 13s at this point. We do currently have this wave, we have this wave available, so it should give them 13s here. And at this point, Insomniacs, they just got to back off, and they've got to play the safe game at this point. They're going to need to start soaking up some more experience because of the fact that just the Zagara push has been so insane this entire time, as well as the Lunara push. And the rest of the team has just been rotating and just slowing down Insomniacs consistently on the side of Alaska. So it looks like we actually have Stukov finishing his level 4 talent, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to have the rest of a couple members of Insomniacs going ahead and going into the bottom lane. They'll go ahead and pick up a little bit more experience. But at this point, top lane, ooh, they actually get trying to get Rexpa there. It does not look like it's going to be working out. Our Salesman taking half his life. Cleanse was used as well. We actually have a dive onto Bubble This, but it looks like he will be able to be healed up from Stukov, able to walk out of there as well. They do get a slide onto Dunkstick. It looks like he'll get the cocktail out, but it's a disengage. They don't get a pick here, but at the same time, this Punisher's very, very well set on the side of Alaska. They've got their gate for defense if it does go over to Insomniacs, and this time they're also going to go ahead and get that fort. So this push will go straight to the keep, and you know, it's harder for Insomniacs at this point to make any sort of retreat, because of the fact that if they need to get away, they have to go all the way to keep line or mid. And they definitely need to make sure that they play this safe. Now, we do have Hedgie and Varen going ahead and starting the Shrine here. Bubble this, and Rex will go ahead and scout out and just delay this camp, it looks like. Czar Salesman getting some of the zoning here, but we do have Dunkstick and Crab People rotating up. Rexman needs to be a little bit safe here. Varen coming down just to get the Pustule out for the healing. They go ahead and they get this camp, and it looks like they'll also be picking up 13s at the exact same time, so this is definitely going to be a very good position for their defense. Actually, they're going to go for the engage. It's about halfway over for Alaska here. Czar Salesman currently going through the slowing sands. Bubble this, getting zoned away from the team. Going to be able just to kind of walk out of there. Now Dunkstick taking quite a bit of damage in that backline. We currently have Bubble this. Looks like he will go for the power slide. Does he have the knockback for the kill? There is the heal out. We do have Crab People taking quite a bit of damage here as well. We do have the first kill onto Kael'thas, but that's going to be a counter kill onto the ETC from Vala. Meanwhile, though, the Punisher has been picked up, and they honestly delayed this very well. I really like the play that they did on the side of Insomniacs. They went in for a very good engage. They did as best as they could, and they started to really hold that over, but unfortunately the Kael'thas dying there is just going to be a lot of that backline damage dying, and just on top of that, there was so much coming out from the Lunara, Chromie, and Zagara as well. Now the bait does go over the tower. Czar Salesman starts to pull over this Punisher. As you can see, he's taking so much damage from Chromie, just throwing out so much sand. And it looks like we currently have the Punishers will be dying here. I don't think they'll be able to confirm this keep. They might be able to get 16s off of this. No. Czar Salesman chasing a little bit here, but just gonna be. They won't go too far here, and it looks like meanwhile they have had Dunkstick going into that bottom lane, just soaking up the experience as well. Definitely a lot of they're doing a very good job of rotating away when they can to make sure that they push up the lanes. They're not getting shoved in here on the side of Insomniacs, and I think that they're doing a very good job as a team, just being down about a level here, and they've kept it just a consistent difference. Now we do have Bubble this taking a little bit of damage here. There is the dive in, but it looks like they won't be able to confirm the kill. Now the rest of Alaska has rotated into position for this fight, and it looks like they want to continue it. But they are kind of splitting their attention here. It looks like they will start to chase a few of the members down here. They go for the disengage, and they go ahead and pick up this camp, and that is going to be just more pressure into that mid lane, where I believe that should be the next Punisher. It could be anywhere, but I believe that's the only lane we have not had a Punisher yet, and this late into the game, I would only expect it to be here. So definitely focusing down this lane is a strong idea on the side of Alaska. If that is the next Punisher lane, could still be bottom. It technically could be top again. There is like some percentile chance, but going ahead and just still opening this up while they have the advantage, and they go ahead and there isn't really much they can do on the side of Insomniacs. Without that 16, they really, really want to play safe here. They don't want to go too far out. They don't want to stagger a death before a potential Punisher, objective. They definitely, if they can get the kill before it, looks like we will have a pause here really quickly. So we're just going to go ahead and change the scene so we don't show any sort of tactics or who's on the map. Just want to keep it fair for everyone. But unfortunately, now is the time, because this has been such a back and forth game. I'm going to finally actually get water. Okay. All right. Oh, looks like we had some. They were talking about like frame drops, and then like the person just goes, "This person is left." I'm like, "Oh, okay." But either way, we can just talk about, I can at least look at some of the numbers here. One day I'll just have to re-stretch the scene so that way, because what it does is there's one scene that I have where you could technically see the score, but it shows a wee bit of map, and I just don't want anyone to get an advantage here. But either way, I mean, Lunara putting in siege damage-wise, like, I have to honestly give it, like, Dunkstick is doing a phenomenal job of just keeping these waves pushed back with 113,000 in siege damage, and in comparison to Alaska, who's got Lunara at 88,000 siege damage. So it's just, you can see that there's a lot of laning happening on the side of okay, sorry, I'm just trying to read the chat here as well. Of Insomniacs. Okay, so both teams are going to go ahead and say they're ready. We're just going to jump back into the casting page here, and I'm going to give them a 3, 2, 1. And pause break. All right, so let's get back into this. So we currently just have, and the one thing I was going to also note here, and just pull this up here, in comparison though, hero damage, Greymane has been the highest on Insomniacs, but we also have had Rexpa with 47,000. So Dunkstick doing quite a bit in both categories, but just Rexpa doing, you know, 47,000 off of the Chromie is just, it's quite a bit here. Now 16s are quite close on the side of Insomniacs, so look to see them go ahead and try and achieve that before they go in for any sort of engagement here. They definitely use the Time Walker's Pursuit from Chromie at level 1, which is going to go ahead and give them a little bit of vision here so they know if people are going to be coming in, as well as just Lunara, as well as the Zagara. They've drafted so much vision on their team. Do have a dive in from Zar Salesman and a blow up onto Lunara here, and that is going to be the start of this fight. That's going to be a actually very strong engagement here. Now we do have Apocalypse going out. Will not connect onto any of the members, but we do have Zar Salesman taking quite a bit of damage. Baron will get the spilling swipe away. Is going to get dove on by the Stukov, and it looks like there's going to be a mosh onto a few people. There will be the Rain of Vengeance to knock them out of it. We do have Diablo taking quite a bit of damage here. Zar Salesman going to go ahead and able to actually get out with just a few health. We do have Bubble Disc falling as well, and that it looks like it's going to be, this shrine is definitely going to be going over to Insomniacs. I don't, you know, with 41 seconds on their tank and quite a bit on the rest of them. Now we do actually have Dunkstick going in here for the kill. We do have him taking quite a bit of damage. Sears will be falling as well, and it looks like, yep. That is Chromie, by the way. Chromie did finish her level, her passive, so there is that projection or duplicate that will be getting the damage. But at the same time, the one thing we want to note here is while all that was happening, this camp. These camps, when you're playing this map, you need to make sure that you watch these things, because if they go uncontested or just left alone, you can lose over a keep, and they can be absolutely devastating. But now, the one thing we have to note, this is Arcane Punisher. We're 15 minutes in the game. The scaling is quite strong. There will be the bait over the gate, so they go ahead and pull him between these two towers, so it will be shooting from the fort and the tower. And it looks like at this point, we do have a little bit of an aggressive posture on the side of Insomniacs, but it looks like they are going to be calling for retreats here. They go ahead and they're going to confirm the fort, and this will close the experience gap to about like an eighth of a level difference, or maybe like a quarter. Not much at all. At the same time, they have also picked up this camp in the top lane, so that will be pushing. It's something that Alaska's going to have to respond to. And this is definitely, I really like what they're doing on the side of Insomniacs. They're trying to take advantage of, you know, a few of these members dying, but they go ahead and they give over this camp. They do not want to fight at this point. Zar Salesman a little bit low here. They are getting the scouting with the Chromie's Time Walker's Pursuit. They currently go on to this camp. We do have Bubble Disc diving in, separating a few of the members from Zar Salesman, who will be kind of coming back into his team. I do believe he should have Devil's Due or his passive still available, so he should be able to just come back to life if he is killed in this situation. They go ahead and steal over this camp on the right-hand side, so it looks like it's going to be even trade for those at this point, but it looks like they really want to go in for this fight. Zar Salesman diving in. There is the silence, and it looks like they'll just disengage from there right away. It looks like Hedgie will get a little bit of damage onto a few of the members. There is the power slide in from Bubble Disc. Currently have the Phoenix going out. We have Crazy Ivan getting a little bit of damage into the back line. Baron having to back off here. The D-Shield does go out onto the Vala. She will be able to get away. Now Dunkstick is going to be separated from the Teeling with that flailing swipe. Zar Salesman coming in here. There will be the roll forward from Dunkstick, trying to get that extra damage, but Zar Salesman falling extremely low here. Baron going to be falling as well, potentially. Kael'thas will be the first one to die. Diablo falling as well. Stukov will be falling in this engagement as well. Greymane dying. Lunara dying. And this is going to be a 2-for-2 trade. Will it be a little bit more? No, Rexpa will be able to get out of that. And what a back and forth did we just see. Whew. So Kaiser going to be positioned in this bottom lane, going to have to hearth back and just group up with his team. This top lane is going to be something that they're going to need to de-push consistently. This is going to be something that they're really going to need to worry about. And with this top Punisher, I would not be too... I wouldn't be surprised. There we go. I'm blanking out. I'm still like going over that fight in my head. I'm just like, oh my god, I can't believe so many people still made it out of there. I can't believe the Vala made it out. There was D-Shield on her and she had a sliver of health. What an absolutely crazy engagement. But either way, like, I wouldn't be too surprised to see Alaska really set, and you can already see Rex was already set up. Sierras is already getting vision in that top backline area. They're already posturing themselves here to make sure that they go ahead and they're ready for this Punisher, because if they can get this, they can walk this into core. I mean, this is a 18, so it'll be around the 20-minute mark scaling-wise, and it's going to be a Mortar Punisher, so it's, you know, it doesn't have the arcane ability or the, you know, the freezing lockdown for the roots, but at the same time, this could be a win condition. And at the same time, if they get a couple kills here, they could on the side. Oh, we do have Rexpert taking quite a bit of damage. Stasis does go out. Czar Salesman in that back lane. Flailing Swipe going out from a few of the members. Rexpert going to be falling extremely low, putting him into the corner. Do you have Greymane driving in there? That is going to be Stukov falling as well. And it looks like we do have Sears able to get out through the Nidus network in that top area. So they go ahead and they get 27 of these over. Looks like Sears will be going to that bottom lane. Going to go ahead and push that up a little bit further as well as spread out some creep. And they're just going to have to... I wouldn't be too surprised to see them just give this over on the side of Alaska. I mean, with Stukov dead as well as your artillery dead, they can't do too much here. But at the same time, they're going to go ahead and rotate Sears into this bottom lane. He's going to be going onto that keep, so that's just going to be more catapults pressuring the lane. So yes, they are going to be getting this Punisher. I think they're just assuming that if they give this over, they can go ahead and get a few of their members back in time. They can get this defense, and they won't be losing out too much. And they honestly... They're going to trade a Punisher for a keep. Now, make sure Bubble Disc doesn't get killed here. They are chasing a little bit deep. They're postured up very far forward. At this point, we do have Zagara. Looks like Sears will be going for that camp as well. In the mid lane, just opening that up a little bit more. But at this point, we do have a 97% Mortar Punisher walking down the top lane. This could be do or die. I mean, this is definitely a situation. Actually, we have Diablo back at core. So it looks like they're not going to be going to push for a win here. They're just going to go ahead and let the Punisher go over the gate. And they get this camp. They get a little bit of a break from Alaska's pressuring. Actually, Diablo not clearing out the camp in bottom. It's still pushing out. I'm very confused. I'm just looking at mini-maps, so I can't really tell. But either way, this looks like it won't be the keep going over to Insomniacs. They go ahead and they steal away the camp. That is going to be the blink forward with the power slide. They want to go ahead and get this fight on to Dunkstick. There is quite a bit of damage going out. We do have the leaping strike from Hedgie here. Two of them go out. He is falling extremely low. There's going to be some healing going out onto him. Do have the power slide out. That is going to be the D shield onto the Greymane. Mosh was there for a few seconds, but there was the Rain of Vengeance disengage. And they go ahead and they just make a clean disengage. They get chased out. They don't die. But at the same time, we have had this camp in the mid lane, opening this up a little bit, getting quite a bit of damage. And the scaling that we've seen in the patch notes onto these soft camp, I would just call it soft camp for now. It's starting to show. I mean, they definitely do quite a bit of damage. We currently have that lane opening up, and they're really starting to pull a few of the members across this map. We currently have Greymane needing to go into bottom for clearing. Kael'thas was in that top to help with the clear as well as the camp there. And they're really starting to pull a few of the members away here. Now, at the same time, they're going to split up a little bit themselves on the side of Alaska. Looks like they will be going ahead and picking up these two camps and just keeping the overall lane pressure in their favor. And I really like this. They're just waiting till the next objective, and they're going to be fighting on that point. And it looks like they're kind of doing the same thing. They're setting up for a gank bush attempt here. The question is, are we going to see it in this rotation? Scouting does go out from Lunar. They do not know where they are on map, so it is going to be in the bush. And it looks like they will be able to kind of move this around and definitely able to just scout that out before they go for any sort of, you know, gank attempt. We do currently have Sears going back into that top lane, and this is it. So now we're going to see. This is the late game. I mean, this is the do or die point in this matchup. Actually, we do have quite a bit of damage going out onto Rexpert here. The healing does go out. Power slide is out from Bubble. This our salesman going to be zoned away, but I mean, I do believe he does have enough soul, so he should be coming back right away. That is going to be another copy from Rexpert going out, doing quite a bit of damage. If you can just land on one of these members. Do have Bubble Disc getting the knockback onto a couple members. We do have Dunstan going to be taking quite a bit of damage. Bubble Disc is going to be falling here. The Flailing Swipe does go out from Varen for the disengage. Crazy Ivan taking quite a bit, and that will be the Vala falling here, so that's going to be an ETC for Avala. Czar Salesman will be falling. That is going to be enough soul, so he will come right back. But at the same time, here's the thing. If they delay this, that's the core falling to the minions, and I don't think Diablo has the clear for this. It does not look like he's going to be clearing it. I believe that is going to be if they just get one more catapult. So that's going to be, they get the Greymane kill, but that's going to be game number 1 going over to Alaska. GG, well played. And for like a hot second there, like I almost missed it. Like I looked over, I was like, wait, where's Diablo? Oh my god, the core. So it looks like though 10 to 10 kills. I mean, that was a really, really good back and forth. I absolutely loved the draft that came out of those teams. The play that came out of those teams was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, these games were just... There were so many good back and forth engagements, and I absolutely loved this matchup here. These games were great. So let's go ahead and get the lobby set up for the next game. Go ahead and show the stats one more time. We'll go show the overall siege damage, the hero damage, as well as the XP contribution. And healing, I mean, we got to compare. Damage taken. All right. Showed everyone everything. Let's go ahead and take that away. And we're going to go ahead and set up the next lobby here. We are going to be going into an interesting 2-lane map. It's called Ghost Protocol. No, that's a lie. Can I find it? There we go. Alrighty, so here we go. It looks like the teams have just been kind of jumping in here freely, so hopefully they just jump in once again. Meanwhile, I gotta set up one really quick thing, and hello to everyone in chat. Thank you for coming by. Tell your friends. If you enjoyed the stream, just tell your friends. Just be like, yo, this guy's, he's casting some decent games. Get in here. I'm cooking pork. Okay. I actually made pulled pork sandwiches last night, so it's a good, like, and I was like, that's gonna be my Sunday dinner. Oh. Let me just go ahead and send out. Okay, looks like teams are going to be pulling themselves in here. All right, I just need to change the score. That's all I want to do. Oops, that's the wrong button. Okay, alrighty. Looks like we have updated everything. Go ahead and swap that member over. Just go ahead and throw out that lobby link, and they should be able to join in there. But hello. Oh, just Twitch chat. Oh, just ooh. I love it. How are you guys doing? Thanks for coming by. If you are enjoying the stream, go ahead and hit that follow button. Really appreciate it if you actually do. If you're enjoying the stream, yeah, definitely hit it. If you get that free Twitch $4.99, it just goes all right into the assets for the stream. I always appreciate it. It makes my day too. But otherwise, we are going to be going into our next matchup here. We're just loading into the lobby here. Got to get one last member into the game, and then we will be loading into our second matchup here. But I'm actually pumped for this. I cannot wait for the next one. Oh. Cyan Madness. All right. Looks like we have everybody in here. Let me just double check that we are all good, and then we'll get going in there. Hello to everyone in Twitch chat. Nice to see everyone in there. But Braxis holdout. It's a two-lane map. And I'm just really, really excited about it. I mean, the draft that you get out of this map is really interesting. There's definitely some interesting pickups you can go here, especially with it being a two-lane map. It's just about to type 3. All right, but it looks like we are. Oh, I don't. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, we're going to be going into this. Someone joined into the game at the last second, and everyone was just like, ooh, what? Wait, what? But it looks like, all right, so we are all set here. We are going into game number 2. So first game was won over by Alaska on Infernal Shrines. Looks like... Okay. Braxis holdout. Do they ban out the ETC that we saw last game? Because there was a lot of good setup from Bubble This on that ETC. And the one thing that I was trying to write down questions. Actually, do they go for the Garrosh once again? Because I believe that's what they banned first game. Garrosh is really, really strong. No, they ban out the Chromie. They do not want to deal with that again. All right, and it looks like ooh, it's between Garrosh and the ETC. I guess, because either or are really, really strong. The disengage that you get from the Garrosh, it looks like they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with the potential first pick ETC. And I mean, they did it themselves. There's the potential for Insomniacs to do it on their side. And, what are we going to be picking up here? First pick Garrosh is an option. Unless there's just something that they really think that they're going to need overall in this matchup. The Uther was really strong in the last game. I don't think that they're going to prioritize it in this one slot. It's going to be the Garrosh. Okay. It's not a bad choice at all. I think he does really, really well in the fight.
I will not be.
Ariel?
Let's save some lives.
Why do I even think Ari? The backpack, the medic backpack, the Lieutenant Morales backpack. I like that combination, especially where Lieutenant Morales is. That is a duo that basically can that never technically has to leave the point. And that's just I really like it. I think that's a very strong pickup here at the start of this. But what are we going to be seeing? What are you going for? Do they just go into a solid healer and someone with a little bit of a sustain for the fight? So you could honestly just go in for like a Vala Ariel here. That wouldn't be a bad combo for the control beacon phase.
I stand ready.
There's Vala. Did they just go into Uther again though?
Obey the call.
Ooh. Kel'Thuzad. I have not seen Kel'Thuzad in so long, so it's just a little bit weird to me because he hasn't been a priority ever since he was kind of nerfed. So I'm just making sure my dog isn't like sitting behind me or something. Just gonna scoot back a little bit. But that's such an odd. I'm not saying it's bad, but out of all the wave clear, I think I think the Kale Thos would have been a little bit stronger here. Oh, chat. Looks like though we are gonna have a ban on Stukov, which wouldn't be bad. It would actually work really well with their composition. I think they would be leaning more Ariel, but overall Stukov works better on this map. I mean, even with that composition as well. So just overall, I think it's a very good ban on the side of Alaska. And I like how we've currently banned out 3/5 of Alaska's last draft. So it's just something I want to point out. Like if they ban out Zagara here, I'm just kidding. That's gonna be hilarious. Either way though, I mean, but the thing is, at the same time, like I joke about it, Zagara isn't a bad ban here. We saw that Zagara was very good. It works on this map. It is smaller, but Nidus Network can be very, very powerful here. The vision in the rotations is a nice asset to have. But at the same time, that Lunara was very hard to deal with, and technically they could pick it up in the rotation for Alaska, so that's something that you consider. And at the same time, there's Genji you got to consider. They need a tank, so at the same time, do they just ban out Arthas? Ooh, I really would like Arthas here. That's not a... Diablo works on this map. I can't even, like, have the full thought. So there... Okay, so it's Diablo. Like, I'm just like... Who do you realistically want to ban out? And Diablo's not a bad idea. Horrify, yeah, no, the Horrify and the Apocalypse would kind of work. You just have to, obviously, you have to, you know, in a team setting, make sure you're saying, you know, communicating and correlate these two things like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and pop Apocalypse. All right, here comes the Horrify. But either way, I mean, these are, you know, teams who practice, so they obviously would know to do those things. I just play quick match and try and try. But either way, Milk and cookies, I wouldn't know, to be honest. Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, he played the gray main last game, so I don't know. Either way, I like the Arthas. I think he works on this map. And there's the Zagara. I mean, ooh, Muradin. He has been changed. I like this. I'm very curious because I played him on the PTR and like I'm not the tank main, but I play it like if I I'm comfortable in the role, and he felt not crazy different, but I don't know. It was just like it was like an optimized version. Like he just felt like it was a good place that he was in. So not a bad pickup. And the Zagara we saw last game was just very, very strong. So these last two pickups, they're going to need a solo laner. They could go into the Grey main again. It's not a bad idea. They're going to need a healer on top of that. So Rhaegar wouldn't be too bad of an option, but I really think they might lean into the Ariel here. She pairs well with a Grey main if they go into that, so they can, utilize her in kind of any situation. Okay. So they go into the Alarak for the solo lane and Lucio for the lane sustain. I like that. I think that's a very strong composition. So it's going to be Alarak up against the Zagara. Just the chat. I like that. That's just good choices. Now, what damage? They hyper carry Gul'dan. Okay. I mean, they've got damage from Zagara, but that Zarya is just going to be providing... so they're just going to keep Gul'dan alive forever. Just... chat right now is too good. As well as Twitch chat. Thanks for coming by once again. I am Bahamut. And if you're enjoying the stream, go ahead and hit that follow button. It means the world to me. But either way, if you want it to pop up, just wait till after the game, because I think they are turned off during the matchup. Because, just got to keep it nice and clean during the matchup. But here we go into said matchup. We have Alaska on the left with Hedgie on that Zarya. Bubble This will be on the Muradin. Varen will be on the Morales. We have Rexpa on Gul'dan and Sierras on Zagara. Lieutenant Morales. Either way. On the side of Insomniacs, we are going to have Crazy Ivan on Vala, Zar Salesman on that Garrosh, Dunkstick on the Alarak, Crab People's going to be on that Kill Thizad, and Kaiser will be on that Lucio. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get into this matchup here.
Powering up.
We're about to begin.
So we are going to have the Plague Lands for the Kel'Thuzad, Sustained Power for the Alarak. It makes sense. I mean, I've played a little bit of Alarak here and there just for funsies because I was like, oh man, he's been changed quite a bit. I need to relearn him a little bit. And I tested out a bunch of different builds with him, and overall I kept coming for the solo lane. Sustaining Power is just so strong, and I absolutely like this first pick here. Clear for the Morales. I mean, at this point, like, I wouldn't be too surprised to see this get baked in much like Stormbolt is. We actually have Zarya going for Demolitions Expert. Vala will go ahead and hold her first once again. We actually have a rotation into this midpoint from Insomniacs. What are you taking in that? And it's going to be, it looks like multi-shot build. We currently have, ooh, is this some sort of crazy flank that I've never, what is this? What are they doing? So they're not showing in lane currently. Sprays are out. I'm trying to just... At this point, we do have the Alarak breaking off into the top lane, so that is something that we should note. Looks like he is going to be posturing for that flank position as well. Currently have the rest of the team coming in here. Looks like they will be coming in exactly into that flank. There is going to be a little bit of a jump there from the Muradin, I do believe. Excuse me, there was a toss from Zar Salesman. But it looks like after all that, they end up just missing out on the first wave. I think it was really cool, but I don't think they got the blow up that they expected. With the draft that they have in this bottom lane, I really don't think they're going to be catching these guys too off guard, especially with the protect that they're going to get. Now, there is the potential for Bubble This to die here, so maybe I should shut up because it looks like first kill of the game will be going over to Insomniacs. Whew. They do get that gank, though. The one thing I also wanted to note here is typically we often see a Fel Flame build from a Gul'dan, but it looks like we are actually going to have, a pull onto Rexpa here. He's going to be booped back from the Lucio. Currently have Kiltazai getting those chains out. He will be taking quite a bit of damage here. Baron trying to get the healing with that beam, going to be able to get out in time. And that is going to be the first beacon phase. Bubble This will rotate back in with the team from Death, and it looks like they will get the pull in from Kiltazad. They will have the Stormbolt out as well. Looks like the pull will be out onto Rexpo, and the toss is going to be onto him again, but Zar Salesman taking quite a bit of damage here. Now, the one thing I was going to note here is that we actually often see Fel Flame build because the damage buff, as well as it's very easy to stack in a 4-man situation. Now, Corruption is just as powerful in the same way, and it's very good for the clear, but it's just the stacking for it can be a little bit difficult in comparison to the Fel Flame. Either way, I mean, it comes down to the player. Now, we do have a pull in once again to Rex, but the tosses out onto Bubble This. There is a combo going out onto him. Looks like he will be healed up by Varen. Currently, as Zar Salesman taking a little bit of damage here, going to have to back off. We do have Lucio giving a little bit of a speed boost there. Paula going to go ahead and get a little bit of damage out with that Hungering Arrow. Looks like they will get the charge for a split second on the side of Alaska here. Duos Zar Salesman once again. He's going to get separated from the team. Going to be taking quite a bit of damage here. Bubble just going to dive in. Looks like he won't be able to get that kill. Going to try and get the Stormbolt out, but it won't yield the kill that they're looking for. Now in top lane, just going to check this out really quickly. It looks like it's going over to the hands of Sierras. Now we do have quite a bit of vision on his side of the map. Looks like Alaric has done quite a good job of clearing that out. But in bottom lane, once again, we do have quite a lot of damage going on into Zar Salesman. It potentially could be falling here. The poison is... No, there is the Lucio for the heal, so it looks like they should be able to hold that over. But it looks like Zar Salesman's going to have to back at this point. Top lane looks like it will go back over to Alaska here. So they had Dunkstick going ahead and picking that up. Dunkstick picking that up. Looks like Morales. We can just check actually during this charge phase. We actually have Lucio going to top lane. So once that... I wouldn't be too surprised to see this bottom lane push get a little bit aggressive on the side of Alaska here with that Lucio being in top. There is no healer. Currently going to have a toss onto Rex, but here he isn't able to get over the gate. Now there is crap people taking quite a bit of damage. That will be the Kel'Thuzad falling here. Now Crazy Ivan could die. No, he'll be fine. Looks like Zar Salesman will take quite a bit of damage though. Murden will jump over the tower, trying just to get a little bit more zoning as well as just opening this up. And now this is a very strong play for Alaska. They don't need to prioritize that top beacon, because of the fact that if they can open this up, they can get a lot of value from the first Zerg wave here. Now we do currently have Zar Salesman taking quite a bit of. He's just consistently low. They can't keep him back up alive. There's a lot of damage going out onto him. Now this will be the charge going back over to Alaska, so this will be 100-0 here. Now it is 6-6, so the experience is just about the same. Now we do have a toss onto Hedgie here. He is just about to finish up his level 1 quest, which he just did. Do have Lucio falling quite low here. Kaiser potentially could be falling. Another grenade goes out. It will be the kill of Lucio. They start to burn down this fort, and I don't even think the Banelings will get to it. Nope, they go ahead. They get the Banelings on it. It will be the destruction of the fort. Now they are starting to chase a little bit deep here. Crab People taking so much damage. He avoids the corruption, but he gets hit by the Fel Flame, and that will be Hilthuzad falling here. We do have Crazy Ivan having to back and get full once again. Now we do have Alarak looking like he's rotating into the lane to make sure that he helps out with the team on this clear. This is currently pushing on to a keep front gate. And it looks like they won't be getting the keep, I don't expect. Crazy Ivan falling a little bit low here. They actually got a lot of poke damage out from Rexpa. Looks like they will try and pull them in with the Alarak. He will actually be falling here. We do get a pull in from the Kel'Thuzad, trying to get a bunch of burst out onto a few of the members. Crab People trying to get that damage out. Does not look like it's happening, but it looks like Alaska's going to go ahead and try and get the keep in this situation. We do have a toss onto Bubble This, I do believe, does get the... He is able to disengage. There is no tens yet, so there's no avatar. Looks like they will go ahead and get the keep, and so that's going to be a keep at 5 minutes, about 6 minutes into the game. Whew. And during this entire time, we've had Sierras in this top lane pushing this up, opening up this gate, and, you know, that's going to lend into this. Now we do have Zar Salesman taking quite a bit of damage here. Gonna get the pull onto Rex, but gonna get the toss as well. Chains do go out. The Horrify is going to separate a few of the members away here for a few seconds. There is quite a bit of damage going out onto Czar Salesman. He will be falling as well as Kaiser sets Lucio and the Garrosh down, and we don't have another Zerg charge for the next, I believe, like minute 20. So at this point, Alaska, they're just going to rotate around the map and just start to get camps and put pressure on all these lanes. This is some very, very strong play from them. Now, at the same time, they have had Alarak in the top lane from Insomniacs, clearing out the creep from Sierras here, making sure that vision is limited. But at the same time, I think they're just going to give that over. They're going to start working on these camps. They get the bottom left side, they get the bottom right side, and both teams are just going to rotate up and work on more of this lane pressure. And this is just some... It's a smart play from Alaska. They're not laning out too far. They're not taking fights they don't need to. They're just creating lane pressure that Insomniacs has to respond to until the next Zerg wave, or the next channel starts. The sustain in bot lane is too much. It is way too much. We talked about it in draft. I mean, the Zarya with the Morales, Lieutenant Morales, and the hypercarry Gul'dan, it's too much. And then, you know, Muradin has a self-passive as well, so, which I do believe he went into at level 1. He did go for the third wind at level 1, which does give the restoration rate a little bit faster, as well as the threshold, and, you know. So it's just overall, I mean, the draft from Alaska is just very, very strong for this map, and they're kind of just playing this how they want to, and it looks like Insomniacs has to respond to a lot of the things they're doing. They currently have to dedicate their entire team into this top lane. We do have quite a bit of damage going out onto Alarak. We do have Dunkstick. He will be able to get out of there with the speed boost from Kaiser. But at this point, with the boss, they're going to go ahead and start to pressure up these lanes. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Sierras going ahead and capturing both of these, utilizing the Nidus network into the bottom lane here. And meanwhile, you have the rest of the team just opening this up for the potential Zerg wave, which could potentially be going on to keep or core. It's just, we actually have a toss on to Rexby here. There's a Horrify out at the same time, so that will be Gul'dan dying here. So they do have to back off on the side of Alaska. They do not want to be losing out too many members here, because the reverse snowball effect, like the rubber bandness of this map, it's very strong, and these Zerg waves, they scale very quickly. But at the same time, we've had Sierras in this bottom lane, in this top lane, pushing up, pushing all the lanes up. So at this point, they really can't get an advantage, even though they did get it. Ooh, they get a toss on a bubble this. He does jump over the wall. Pull back onto him. The silence is there. They do have the disengage with the Morales grenade, but he's going to be taking quite a bit of damage. There is the expulsion zone from Hedgie to save his teammate. Kaiser falling a little bit low here, too. The minion wave could potentially fall if Hedgie does get a good grenade out. But it looks like they go ahead and they're just going to zone them back. And they're also going to have to deal with a top lane Zerg rush. They're going to need to back off as quick as possible. Bubble this, trying to make sure they don't get the quickest retreat. Kaiser trying to keep all of his members, I believe, in that circle this entire time. We do have Varen just one grenade away from finishing that level 1, so I believe that's, you know, the increased area. Now, Czar Salesman taking quite a bit of damage here. He is going to be healing up slowly. Bubble this, diving into that line, going to be just forcing them back here. There's the stun onto him. There's the toss as well. Bubble this going to have to jump away. We do have a pull in onto Hedgie here from Czar Salesman. But it looks like Kaiser in that back line, going to have to use that, break it down. The Horrify does go out. Bubble this is falling extremely low. The Horrify does hit, grab people into that back line, so they get the kill onto him as well. The expulsion zone is going to keep a couple of the members stuck here, and it looks like this is going to be Alaska walking onto the core and finishing this game. And it looks like this is going to be game number 2 going over to Alaska. GG, well played.